What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to your channel dedicated to La Vecchia Signora, the AJC. And yes, it is not a victory show. It is yet another extremely frustrated show, and this time after a 2-0 defeat to Benfica in Champions League. Mota, how you doing, everybody? We'll talk, because yes, that's already popping out there. You know where it's going to go. We're going to discuss everything today. All right, I've got Luca, Trim, and Paolo with me. Fellas, Luca, how you doing this morning, man?
Pretty shit. How about you guys?
Yep, that sounds about right. Paolo, how you doing?
I'm fucking pissed.
Right, that's on par. Trim, how you doing?
Is there light at the end of the tunnel? I'm starting to question it. I don't know.
I'm squinting. Let's see. Look, there's a ton to discuss. We're going to get into everything. Everybody in the live chat, take a quick second. Say what's up. I see Matt in there. Alex P. What's left to really say? Well, I still think there's a few things to say, and we'll try and clear the air the best we can. Kaushik, ciao, ciao. Mota and Juntoli. Dumb and Dumber, our own Harry and Lloyd. We'll take a look at both of these guys. Would they get on that bus at the end with all those women for that bikini competition? No, you think Juntoli and Mota would both say see you later? I kind of feel like they would. Yeah. It might not even stop them to tell them they gave them the wrong directions, because right now I don't think they could tell what direction they need to go in. So they probably would have let that bus of females take off. But Harry and Lloyd, let's see what we got. Ciao, Swari. Ciao, everybody in here. All right. Justin B in here. Oh, snap. Trim is in. Let's go. Do not insult Harry and Lloyd. Sammy, Swami, Samsonite. We knew it started with an S, her name. All right. Look, we're going to at least try to have some fun about it while covering everything. The news headlines, I got your news headlines, okay? Apparently discussions for Artur with Santos have gone great, have been very fruitful, according to the reports. Of course they have, because it's a free loan. That's literally what it's come to with Artur. A free loan. And guess what? Now we're probably going to be covering a portion of that salary too. Yes, when it rains, it pours. There's going to be absolutely nothing going on with Artur. And then we'll probably go into yet another year of trying to do this in the summer. Welcome him back and Kostic in the summer. Fiorentina is in for Fagioli. Latest reports suggest that they are in pole position to land the Italian midfielder, and we are looking at moving him. I know that Giuntoli's words ahead of the game yesterday were that the mercado is closed. We're not looking at saying exits. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, Kalulu, 3 weeks out. All right, so suffered the injury in the match yesterday. Like we said, when it rains, it pours. He is out 20 days. Therefore, will miss the matches against Empoli, Como, Inter, and the 2 matches that are the Champions League playoff matches. Renato Vega, welcome to Juve, buddy. Instant job security and a ton of minutes waiting for you. Great to see you. Great to see you. You might look like Sideshow Bob's Dominican counterpart, but that's okay, man. I can't wait to see what you do on the pitch. What a day. What a day, gentlemen. All right. Let's go through the match as quick as possible so we can get to all the aftermath. Look, starting lineup, Perin, finally getting a call after a while. Weah. The shout to get Weah in at right back. Real quick, thoughts on that one when it immediately hit in your gut reaction? Paulo?
Well, we got the bricklayer in the middle. We got a right back playing center back, and then we got 2 other guys.
Yeah.
I'm done.
No Savona. Didn't want to go with Savona in this one. To be honest, I was thinking maybe to get the offensive prowess that's missing from him or whatever, but it's just, it is what it is. I mean, I feel like he could try anything, won't work. Trim, what do you think about the decision to go with Weah there?
Initially, I was like, okay, maybe he can make up a little bit more offensively for the lack of offensive ability that Savona maybe has in terms of like getting the ball, moving it quickly, moving it up with using his feet and his speed. And I was like, maybe defensively it won't be that bad. And I was quickly shown why he does not suit that position during the game. But yeah, so just patchwork. That's it. That's all it is just this defense's patchwork.
Luca, what'd you think? Gut reaction
yesterday. I think we discussed it. I had no issues with it. We didn't really have much else.
Yeah. So. I mean, he's done it before, just like Forza Juve saying at Lille. And he said he looked like a walker out of position, but recovered the ball with his pace and stuff. His pace kind of comes in big. I think he was trying to be positive in the final third, like in the attacking sequences. I don't think it was the be-all, end-all. There was the second goal where we'll discuss. He does play a part. They all kind of play a part. But, yeah, we'll get into it. It was an interesting decision. But Savona now, maybe the latest to find himself in a bit of a doghouse. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine with Malta. I mean, we could wake up and 3 more guys could be completely ousted. Gatti, Kalulu, McKennie round out the back line. Luiz, Thuram, Conceição, Yildiz, Mbangula, and then Vlahovic up top. So, Kolomuani, Alberto Costa, Renato Vega, we know they're not going to be available for these matches. In the knockouts, we should be able to have them all registered. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the knockouts, they should be available and registered. We'll get to the highlights of this game. Benfica starts off in 30 seconds with a good opportunity. Di Maria puts it right across the face of goal. They just can't connect on the back side of it. You've got another opportunity off the left wing where he cuts in. He's in the area. Big stop by Perin. That's all within a minute and 20 seconds to start the game. 15 seconds later, we do get the ball. We move it forward quickly. It's Chico Conceição. He cuts in, makes a beautiful cross to the back post, and Mbangula heads it towards goal. It's stopped. The rebound, not able to get anywhere near Vlahovic, unfortunately, and it's cleared there. 5 minutes, 41 seconds. Benfica, again, left side, work it through. Almost like carbon copy of that first opportunity in the first minute. Shot from the same position, just to Perin's right, close inside the area. Perin makes another big save there. Then you get Kalulu's injury. So Kalulu goes down. He leaves. We play down a little bit, trying to see if he can sort it out. He comes back onto the pitch. He attempts it. Can't do it. We have to make a substitute. It's Locatelli. Your back four now is Gatti, Locatelli, McKennie, and Weah. One natural defender. Okay? Almost like within 5 minutes. And they get a goal. And Gatti tries to intercept this ball aerially, thinking at that moment in time he's 15 feet tall. He obviously misses it. This play is infuriating. If you're looking at, again. So that's Gatti right. You can see the ball right between. There's Weah there. There's Gatti there. Guy did a hell of a job to trap that. Okay. But Gatti making that move sucks. But again, our positioning is absolute dog shit. You could drive a Freightliner. You can actually drive 5 of them. You can even separate a couple of them and have Jean-Claude Van Damme do the splits across them like he did in that famous commercial, because this is insane. Locatelli comes in to play center back. There's 2 midfielders between Gatti and Locatelli, and still nobody is fighting to get goal side of the player that is going to be set up, if this thing's trapped, to have a tap-in friggin' goal. And lo and behold, yes, Gatti makes a bad decision. And he can't recover. Weah is close enough to maybe make a little bit more assistance. It doesn't pay dividends in the end. And that player, that 3 of our players are nowhere near being able to be in the right position taps it home. You're 1-0 down. Guys, your thoughts on this goal conceded? Just another avoidable goal. Thoughts? Trim?
Personally, I know I mentioned it in the green room. I would have preferred if Gatti didn't try to intercept that in the air and just allowed the Benfica offensive player to bring it down and then just try to take him on at that point, right? Because once you gamble and if you miss that ball, he's basically in this graphic the last defender because you can see how far away Way is. Locatelli was nowhere near him, and he's supposed to be his center back partner. So basically Gatti's last man back. And yeah, it was tough to watch. And I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later more probably, but I was really honing in on someone on the other team, specifically a target or a previous target of ours, and Antonio Silva. And man, that guy show all of his qualities yesterday in terms of intercepting balls aerially, kind of like what Gatti was trying in this play. And he just made it look so easy. I was very envious of that.
Paulo, thoughts on this one?
Once again, a ball comes across to the box and we make a mess of it. Yeah. If you want to beat Juve, just throw balls in the box all day and you'll get a couple. It's our position, our shape. It's been really frustrating and people are scoring on us and really targeting ways to exploit us. It's the same thing every time. And it's really difficult to watch.
Yeah. Luca, anything to add on this? Another avoidable goal conceded?
Gatti makes a mistake. The striker, I don't know if he's a striker or winger, but perfectly sets that down. It's a great long ball. All I see here is a better team outplaying a shittier team. And you can tell from the state of our back line compared to their entire team, that's exactly what we saw. So not a surprise there.
Yeah. Infuriating. Avoidable goal, but here you are. You're down. Time to turn it up. 28th minute. It's Benfica with another opportunity. They just flip it into the area. This is a header from in tight to Pedin's right. The header doesn't have enough power in the end to beat Pedin. And then 45th minute, it's like close to halftime. Awful pass across from Gatti is cut out. And Pedin has to make a ridiculous save on a one-timer from like 15 yards out. Insanity to me. Just asleep at the wheel.
Great.
It's just multiple issues. It's not like it's ever one thing. It's several things always hurting us. This was just a brutal play. And you're sitting there thinking like, what the fuck, man? Like the moment, like where you're at, like just put some fucking mustard on that ball. Like what are we talking about here? You can't get this thing over to your one defensive counterpart, and you can't feel that the players are right there ready to pounce if you get that thing wrong. You have no urgency, no sense of urgency whatsoever in our play half the time, and it shows in passes. Like, it's wild to me. So beyond even a coaching thing, like these guys, wake up. Halftime hits. And this is a moment where you earn your keep. You earn your keep as a manager. You earn your keep as a player. You know, come out, make it right. You're at home. You're getting booed. Those were thunderous. You're getting jeered. It's halftime. They're not even waiting full time. They're on you. Wake up. Wake up. You had one big chance to however many for Benfica, and you had 70% possession. They barely had the ball, and they outchanced you. More attempts, more big chances. Wake up. Second half, 50th minute, it's Benfica working it to the top of the area with a one-timer shot that goes wide of Pedin's goal. 57th minute, we finally shoot. We finally decide we want to stop getting cute. It's Thuram from outside the area. Easily handled by the keeper. 30 seconds later, Vlahovic, we try to hit him. McKennie puts a ball forward. He's stopped. Yildiz pounces on it, but tries to strike short side. Hits side netting. 74th minute, you get McKennie with a cross in. Luiz does direct it towards goal. It's stopped by the keeper. 80th minute. Well, it's not us. They strike. They strike in the 80th, and this is another positional fucking disaster class. It's insane. No support from mids. One of our mids is actually here, right on the edge of our area. That's Douglas Luiz. Gatti stepped up to the player right at the top of the area. He did his Parwea stuck outside way too long before he realized that that guy's not the danger because you've got zero support from your mids. The mids are higher. The player closest to this guy that's going to strike right now is Chico Conceição. Closer than our midfielders. So it's part lazy. It's unfocused. It's a disaster. It's fucking brutal. Anyways, he hits it home. That's 2. And then we get to the best part of this game, which was the 3 whistles that signaled that it ended. I'm not even kidding. Guys, hit me with your thoughts. Full time.
Hit me with you.
Paulo.
Well,
We'll go Paulo, Trim, Luca.
Well, I think what bugged me about yesterday's game in particular was I saw a Benfica team, to use Mota's words, a great team with great coaching. Flattery. So I saw a Benfica team do their job. I saw them get an early goal. I saw them sit back and defend a lead. And we saw them against Barcelona. They're not necessarily a mid or low block team. And they sat back. They let us make mistakes, have the ball, give it up, manage to get another goal. And then they walk away with the win. And I thought about the number of times we couldn't park the bus. We couldn't preserve a 1-0 win. We couldn't win ugly. Just hold on to a 1-0 win this season. And seeing Benfica do what I kind of wish we would have done a few times already this year when we had the lead, it frustrated me because Benfica, they did a good job and we were exploited in ways that we could have been. And it's really disappointing. I feel really disappointed that we didn't do a lot of basic things right, and it's a pattern. So really sad, just sad.
Yeah. Trim?
so for starters, can we make like a tree and fuck off with the back passes? Because there were 3 or 4 of them yesterday, and I literally want to throw something at the TV, but I don't want to have to replace it at the fan club. So number 1, back passes have to stop. I understand they're trying to keep possession and build up from the back, but how long throughout the season are we going to have to go? Like how much further along the season are we going to have to go through to see that it's not working out? Like I understand it's part of Monta's game, but his game's not working. So he's got to make changes in that regard. I would be moving the ball forward as quickly as possible and have the players that are forward get open, because I know that's the excuse that nobody's moving. Well, start moving your feet, start running, start getting to open spaces. Like it's pretty bad. So yeah. For me, that's bothers the hell out of me. And number 2, I personally thought that Benfica was there for the taking. Like, yeah, they got the first goal and they got it early, but it wasn't like they were world beaters. And yes, I understand, like Paul said, they were sitting back, but for me, we weren't even threatening them. Like we didn't create literally anything. So you can't really give them too much credit in terms of like the type of game that they played. Because for me, they were ripe for the picking. And I've seen in previous Champions League matches, like Paulo mentioned, it's not like they sit back and play a low block. Like they open up defensively for teams that create chances. We just literally didn't create anything. And the few opportunities that we did have or tried to create stuff, it was on the flanks with either Weah running down one side, trying to jump up, or Conceição. And again, every time I watch Chico, like he's a great player and, I hope he does stay, but there are often times where he's way too predictable. And you can almost like see it the way he's playing. It's like it's like you're in his head. You can see what he's thinking. Oh, I'm going to make a couple step overs, take it down the wing and try to cross it in, where the defender is just literally staying with him. And I think the guy's name is Florentino, is one of the players on Benfica. He was just eating that up. And even with Yildiz, like he was just shutting them down. So I don't know, just another game, another frustrating performance.
Luca.
Oh, geez, I don't even know what to say. I'm lost for words.
You don't have to. I
mean, look, it was a garbage game. I mean, I'm going to disagree a bit with Trim here. I think Benfica played it perfectly. Like, This is not the Benfica that I expected. They did seem, I'm going to say weaker, but they didn't seem as, let's say, aggressive. And I think that was the key. They went into this game, they locked up their back line because they knew that we'd try to get possession and try to make as many opportunities. But they saw that we cannot break down a team. All they did was wait for one or two chances, and they got it because they have the attacking prowess to do it. They played a perfect game. I mean, at no point did I ever feel, I'm not gonna say nervous for them, but at no point as a Juve fan did I feel like we were gonna score. So if I'm a Benfica fan, I'm like, oh, this was a cakewalk away from home. So that's it. I got nothing.
We put it out, obviously. Twitter. Let's get some Twitter reactions, okay, at full time. So I said, drop it here, fire away. Let's see.
My favorite.
Motta is a fucking magician. How he managed to make two of the best midfielders in the world look like absolute shit and continues to use them wrong because of his own ego is nothing but out of this world. I'd recommend Motta to save his own pride and leave before it's too late. Another one, at first I blamed injuries, then lack of experience, but now I don't even know what to blame, or rather, who. Either way, something's got to change. This season feels like it's going lower than Allegri 2.0 ever did. Might be reactionary, just don't know what to think at this point. Another one. A team consists of individuals rather than a cohesive unit, and the players lack a shared understanding of the true meaning of our motto, which is fino alla fine. This team is mentally exhausted, lacking a clear leader, no creativity in attack, and worst of all, has no distinct identity. Motta clearly exposed on this. Only using 3 out of 5 showed he's out of ideas. Only using 3, I'm not sure what he was trying to get. Should give a fair chance. Oh, his mids. Fagioli, like what he did to Luiz, and what's the point of keeping Adzic with the first team if he never plays him anyway? Another one. Let's make this easy. If you place proven winners, leaders in this team, they don't lose this game. Sergio Ramos was a must once Bremer went out injured. Also, leadership also starts from the top, and there's none, and no communication throughout the club. Start there. Wow. I have followed Juventus since the Platini era, and this is the worst footballing side in my lifetime. We need to replace Motta with a born winner. He names Mancini, or we may not make top 4. No more excuses. The big signings have flopped, and the manager has flopped. This is not Juve. People fired up. Another one. If we don't beat Empoli, if you're Giuntoli, wouldn't you fire Motta? No disrespect to Empoli, but where is the red line? Number 2, you turned Luiz and Coop into 2 clowns, and you've exiled Fagioli. What does that say about you as a coach? These are all valid, all honest. This is true.
Oh, yeah.
Like, from the heart, from the gut. Hey, this is where we're at. My game overview was simple. Pull out your Juve checklist, everybody, because it checked it all for this season. Easily avoidable goals conceded. Yep, check. ×2. Bonus points. Ton of possession with no stinger bite. Boom. Check. You got that in there too. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. No cohesion, no chemistry up top. Check that off. A plan B? Nope. No plan B. No alternative. It's crazy that you have more to work at end of January than when you started the year. And we said for months, I sat here and was saying, you got to shore this up. You got to shore this up. You got to shore this up, because the longer it goes, guess what happens? Another crack develops, and then you're not shoring up this. Well, now all of a sudden you got a couple. Then you got 3. Then you got 4. And you know what? You can't patch all these leaks. The ship is sinking. Right?
I don't know if you have Flex Seal.
Yeah.
Flex Seal ain't gonna fucking do it. I don't care what Canadian Tire tells you. It's not gonna do it.
Good product, man.
You got issues. Now some were saying that this match is not on Malta. This one's on the players. Who wants to start and tackle this one? The thought that this one was not on Malta and this one was on the players. What do you want him to do with one natural defender? Who wants to tackle that?
I'm happy to jump in. The players, injuries, and the back line has been an issue since the beginning, right? So we've seen this get worse game by game, week by week, until Kalulu, Gatti are basically fumbling, getting injured, whatever. But what I see in the players game in and game out generally is, I know people have been saying they're not trying, they have no grinta, they don't care about Juve, whatever. You see some of that. I think the players' attitudes and efforts and desire, I think they're there. So I think they're being mismanaged, to be honest. And I think the talent's there. They're young. I don't think that's an excuse when you've got 3 young players that at one point were carrying this team with Bangala, Yildiz, and while Savona still had confidence and belief in himself, those guys were kind of carrying the team. So I wouldn't put it on the players. I think they're being they look terribly unorganized and confused out there, even 2 really good signings. I'm not putting it on the players. I don't feel the players have given up, and I don't feel that they don't care.
Yeah. Trim, what do you think?
For
Saying
me,
that it's more on players than Malta.
Yeah, no, for me, there were definitely moments in the game where the players have to own it. Like I said, with those back passes that were just lazy plays. So that all day, every day is on the players. But to Paulo's point, I think the attitude the players have, that can be translated or related to the coach and what he's trying to outline, his game plan, what he wants, and is asking players or expecting of players, and for them to try to draw out on the field. It's just a culmination of the entire season going the way it has, and I think you're starting to see it more and more and more as the games go on the players' faces, body language, all that kind of stuff. Again, it's no excuse. The players are the ones that play, but I think that everybody's just getting kind of fed up and tired with the coach's message. Maybe certain players want to be more attack-minded, and Mota's game plan is to constantly, like I said, pass it back, possession, and we're not seeing it translate. So there's definitely a disconnect there. But yesterday specifically and Napoli, how can you not say it's on the manager? Again, you go down in the first half, you have a whole 15 minutes to kind of regroup and motivate your players to come back in a second half, and let's try to get one back and go from there. Napoli, they came out and it was a complete mess. And yesterday wasn't as bad, but still, like to Luca's point, not at one point yesterday did I feel like, all right, well, I think we're going to get one. I think they're going to generate something, because they didn't show it. They didn't show it at all. So I don't know. I find
Luca,
it on Mota.
Anything to add on player or coach?
To me, before this game, I had a lot of it on Mota, and there's still a lot. But seeing the absolute shit show of mistakes yesterday, it's starting to lean on the players too. It's as we said, we have 2 incredibly talented midfielders from last season in Luis and Koopmeiners, and somehow none of them are even a sniff near that form. So yeah, we could blame Mota all we want, but there is a point in time where these are professional footballers, and you need to square a pass properly. Like Tuzan making a back pass and not even getting it to Luis's feet, and then flinging his arms in the air. I don't know about you. I've picked on Tuzan a lot, but that's on you, man. I don't care how much negativity there is in the freaking locker room or whatever it is. You are a professional player being paid a shit ton of money. Square the pass. So I'm starting to lean a little bit more on the players after yesterday.
Yesterday is a culmination of the season. Yesterday isn't just a one-off. This didn't just happen. Yep. So for me, it's players for execution. But what plan are they trying to execute? And where are the adjustments time and time and time again? We never have like it all clicking. And we barely have at any point this season. That's on a coach. And yeah, the players will be then called upon for execution. I saw Chico Conce, like, I mean, we're ripping on guys left and right, Luis, etc. But like, when you're naming 3/4 of a lineup and they don't do fundamentals properly, what job is the manager doing? At least resemble a team. At least do the simple shit properly that we can't. You don't have to be a fucking elite player to just do the simple shit right. And we can't do that. Yesterday, I'm watching come out second half, and it's Conceição, force fed, double team, triple team, and then he gets the brunt of it in media. Oh, it's all flash. There's no goal. There's no end product, whatever. Okay, as a manager, does anybody else have any input, any say on helping his growth and development? Like, hey man, dial it back, just get the ball in. Because there's times we have 4 bodies, 5 bodies in the box and we weren't crossing it in. We were trying to dance and dribble.
Oh, yeah.
Have the ball in there early. And then there's times where there's only 1 or 2 bodies in there. And then he's sending the cross in. What is the game plan? It never lines up with what we're doing. It's always a mess. And positionally, still, January 29th versus Benfica, we have miles apart from all of our offensive players. Nobody is playing. Nobody is playing together. There are no passes, interchanges. Nobody's running to make space for another. It is a free-for-all, and it looks god-awful. There is no coaching stimulus, no coaching influence, and, of course, execution is suffering as well because there's nothing to go. There is nothing there. We are looking at a hollow shell of a team. There's no heart. There's no guts. There's nothing. You're not building anything. Perrin's words after the game, spot on. And it's almost tough to stomach, and it's tough to listen to him because you could feel the pain from the guy. But he's dead on when he says we're not playing right now like we are at Juventus, or even deserve to be for that matter. And that's spot on. And you know what? He wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't start another minute the rest of the season for fucking saying it. Because who knows? Guys with actual leadership, guys with actual heart, guys with actual balls are just getting fucking sent. See you later. Okay? There's big issues. There's nothing to build upon. Okay? And no, nobody has to put any words in my mouth. Because here's the reality. Here's the reality. He's not going to be in danger if top 4 Champions League qualification is still achievable. He could still achieve it. We also shithoused a lucky draw because it's either PSV or Milan despite playing like absolute shit yesterday, which is a favorable situation for us in the playoffs.
Yeah. Lucky.
Does it matter who we get, even out of PSV Milan? Like, what Juve's going to show up?
Yep.
Who do you guys want in the chat? PSV Milan, who do you want? It Luca, who's your pick? Who do you want?
Milan, because we actually know how they are.
Trim.
You know, it's crazy. I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was kind of going back and forth. But in all honesty, I don't think it matters. It really doesn't matter who we
He
get.
asked you for an answer, Trim. Give him.
Okay, between one of the two teams, I'll go PSV.
Interesting.
Because we actually played well that game. But again, that was what, September?
That's
one of the better games we played was the 2-0. We just beat Milan too, so it's tough. Paolo, who do you want?
I want to avoid any Italian team because we can't seem to beat them. So I'll take PSV. And if we can get past them, we might make some money. And then that's the end of it.
Yeah, give me PSV.
Yeah.
Give me PSV. But honestly, to Trim's point, what Juve shows up. Who knows?
Yeah, we all agree on that.
It's crazy. You've got this, and I'll tell you again, like, why you're not building anything. 7 captains. No disrespect to McKennie, but we're passing that thing around like a fucking joint at a Snoop Dogg show. That's exactly what we're doing with the captaincy. It means sweet fuck all now. It means sweet fuck all. This team doesn't even have a reference point from that. You had players that gained some wings. Gatti gained wings from that armband. And still to this day, everybody's thinking back to while he was playing good, why he even lost it. And his performances since then have just done this. Perrin should have been your captain. No disrespect to McKennie, but those are the right words after. He was the one that led everybody to the curva that booed them all and whatnot. This team has no sense. It's like a Motta ego fest in all the decisions. So if you're looking to blame, is it Giuntoli, is it Motta? Well, the fact is they're all in this thing together. But who is the one responsible for bringing this team thin? Is it because, and I know everybody says, well, Giuntoli's saying goodbye to everybody, but is Motta not playing them? Is that why we might as well get rid of them? Because Fagioli has been here and available, and he hasn't been played. So is it all Giuntoli? I fail to believe that.
And was it not Giuntoli who is bringing the players for Motta as well? Like specific players that he wanted. For example, Coop Miners, the guy that we all, had high hopes for and has not played well at all. He went out and got him because Motta wanted him, right? So yeah, I can see it being a combination. Like Giuntoli did whatever he could. He's obviously got to take some blame as well. But I mean, you've got guys in house that the coach isn't even using. So.
I mean, you guys, who do you think is more FL? Like everybody's looking at this blame game. I see a director that's actually faced financial restrictions.
Yeah.
That's still trying to operate, that's still tried to provide a competitive squad while working on those, while still continuing to work on those. A lot of us are frustrated about standards. You've heard me talk about standards, talk about culture a lot, but the reality is right now we don't have any. And we don't have any because of this dark cloud of finances. And all decisions are being made by that. That is the reality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why for me, it's like sort it out. But the scary part is, where does it end? Like, are they going to be satisfied when they finally hit a positive and now we can, or do they want more? Do they want to continue selling assets? Do they want to get it well above? Is the plan to sell? Nobody knows. But I'm at a point now where give me someone that has serious ambitions, because I'm failing to see them. I'm failing to see anything to cling to with this Juve. This is not a Juve I've ever recognized. So if that means breaking a tradition, if that means no longer being unique and selling, then fucking sell. Because chasing our tails year in, year out, feeding us lines, pissing in our cups, telling us it's apple juice ain't going to fly with me any longer. Okay?
I like apple
respect your tradition, respect your history, respect your fans. The fans that were booing thunderously yesterday. And Vlahovic and Luiz chose to not walk out there with their teammates. So who the fuck is the leader in that group? Where's the leader saying, get your ass out here? And you know what? Just like I said to Allegri, Motta, take a walk out there with them too.
Yeah, agree.
You win, you lose together. And I don't know what the fuck he was smiling about after that game. Pisses me off. Pisses me off, you guys.
Waiting for him.
Mota
Now-
and Juntali seem to be in their own world. Like, they've been quiet all season. Mota started his press conferences earlier in the year with talking football, making little notes, trying to get a rapport going. Then he got kind of vanilla. And then he said the not obsessed to win, which was probably taken out of context. Now he's saying victory, victory, victory 3 times in a sentence, winning, winning, winning. But he said nothing else. And he's been a politician at best. And Juntali said nothing until that one day he came out and said, oh, but up top 4 is our goal. And he said nothing. It's like he's saying, I'm cooking or I'm doing my work. Everybody just shut up and be patient. I'm going to figure it out. Just shut up and be patient. 3-year project. Don't stop the noise. I've got work to do. And it's like Mota's like, I got 3 years to figure this out. Everybody has to be patient and stop getting after me.
Yeah.
These two have been kind of feeling like they don't owe anybody any explanations or anything. And I think yesterday the fans just had enough.
A little transparency wouldn't kill these guys, like, at all. Just come out and be upfront with it. Say, guys, you know what? They all know what's going on. They all know what's being said. So instead of me hearing rumors that they're actively seeking certain personas and personalities to paint the picture of calm in certain media reports, okay? And I won't feed the names here because it doesn't really matter. I was gonna, but fuck it. It doesn't really matter. They're doing that, okay? Instead of doing that, you know everything that's being said in the media, whatnot. You see how the fans are reacting in the stadium. Why not show a little respect? Show a little respect and just say, grab a microphone, Juntali, and have a little presser and just say, look, I just want to reiterate what we're actually doing. We are, dead on for this project no matter what. Like, you could use that stupid word of project. You could say we are tied into 3 years. We believe like we're going to stick it out. Whether we lose Champions League qualification, we will make financial adjustments and we're still going to move forward and continue forward. Just say something. Like, I want to know, like, just give us some actual insight and stop feeding it to media to paint some picture for you. You put out this Juventus terrace icons thing. It sells out in fucking minutes. Everybody's still spending the money. Does it have to come to the point where we stop feeding you our hard-earned money before we get treated with some fucking respect? It's never going to happen because there's way too much passion amongst the fan base. There's more passion in the fan base right now than at the club, it seems. We got it.
And
like
Mota could have taken a few words from Perrin's statement. And I think both of them, Juntali and Mota, seem too above getting out there and walking people through it, explaining, taking some responsibility, empathizing. Maybe they're too important. Maybe they're too busy. Maybe they know so much that we don't know and the fans just have to shut up and let them do their jobs.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's what it feels like. And the players, and it feels like it when I watch Mota, when I watch what he does on the field, when I watch the players and I watch the way they play. It feels like something's really wrong and no one's stepping up and addressing it, admitting it, working people through it.
The sad reality, everybody, multiple issues. It's not just one. You're not getting a coach's influence. You're not getting a coach's impact. You're getting poor execution. You're getting players unmotivated. You're getting players that have no chemistry. It's a calamity. It's a calamity of errors across the board. That's why playing the blame game, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because you don't have enough fingers to point. You win and you lose as a team. But this team, I almost have a tough time calling them a team because it's a hollow shell. I see nothing. I see nothing. It's infuriating. It's sad. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's like watching one of your loved ones just like fucking struggling, hanging on for dear life, and there's nothing you can do. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. I've heard it time and time again. I've read it in the live chat. I've read it on daily update videos. Fans who have been fans from longer than my time, longer than Skanga, which is like 100 years.
Not
They've
possible.
been saying that like they can't recognize this Juventus. It's sad, everybody. It's sad. Speak of the devil. Look at that, just like that.
What a handsome man.
It's sad. It's a tough spot we're in. We're in a hole. And everybody's wondering the same thing while playing the blame game. And for me, the blame game doesn't matter because the question is asked again, as it was during the last, little stint. Can they dig them out of this hole? Or do we have the right people in place? Anybody that wants to use that dreaded P word, project and everything, is there enough substance there now? Losing Champions League, I can tell you already, they are going to make adjustments and it's going to mean selling assets again. Your 3 years, this becoming year 0, would just in turn become year -2. That's the sad reality. So something has to give. Either management and their plan, project, whatever the hell they want to call it, either that has to give. Like, it just can't keep going this way. They're asking a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot in terms of trust and faith, if that's what we see continuously. Just saying. Some believe Malta has to give in on a formation change and alteration. Do you guys have any thoughts? Is setup going to assist this group? Formation. Jump in. Whoever wants to tackle that first. Chat.
I mean, shit. I'll go first on this one. We kind of looked at it in the first goal yesterday, where we have 2 of our mids in between our center backs. I've seen him do this a few times as of late. I don't know what it is. Like Luca's been there when he was in the mid. We've seen Thuram, even now Luis back there between them. I don't know what it is. Maybe the goal was always to push Kalulu wide. I don't know if that's the case. There's some things I'm sure tactically and formation-wise he could adjust. That said, I'm sure everyone here will agree with me. Right now, you could literally play a 2-7-2 and it won't change shit. You can play a 10-1, it won't change shit. These guys look unmotivated and the chemistry is just not there. Like sometimes we see a click and we get a good play, but then, we miss a perfect chance on net. So there's always something missing. What it is, I don't know. But I don't think changing to like a 4-3-3 will, solve all our problems.
I have different thoughts on it, but let's get Trim and Paulo in on here.
So I don't know if it will necessarily change anything. I think just even starting off by putting guys in spots that are a little bit more obvious to the eye. For example, putting Yildiz at the 10 yesterday. That was positive in my eyes. I'd like to see it more often. Changing to an actual 4-3-3, 4-3-2-1, whatever, I don't think that will really help too much. But again, we won't know until we try it. And I think in my opinion, I think it's a little too late now because we're into January. I would have liked to see this maybe at the end of September, October, when he actually had the chance to be flipping formations and he can see, okay, what works, what doesn't work. He's basically left himself high and dry with one play style, one formation, and this is where we're at now, rather than trying to make some tweaks and adjustments early on. And we could see, like I said, what worked and what didn't. So,
Paulo.
Yeah, Trim makes a good point. It's a bit late in the season to be experimenting. He had time to do that earlier, and he had the personnel to try things earlier. He had a lot of shitty opponents to try things against earlier. And I also worry if it matters, because has he lost the dressing room? And I don't know. I'm not a player. I'm not Mota, but has he lost the dressing room, and can he put a new lineup out there, and are people going to listen? Like, I'll be honest, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. I was excited about Mota because I was tired of Allegri. I was tired of the last year in the style of football. I didn't really know Mota. I assumed he could bring something. But it was really, I was excited about Mota because there was going to be some new players, a new style. It was not Allegri.
Yeah.
But Mota's record is shit. I'm just going to say, from what I look on Wikipedia,
There we go.
Genoa, Spezia, Bologna, his record was shit. So why he is the best guy in the market to bring Juve to higher levels, someone tell me, because I've spent all year waiting for this Mota ball to happen, and it's a big, stinky, old, rotten matzo ball.
I will say this. I'll say this.
So I don't care what formation he does at this point. I don't know. I don't know.
To Paulo's first point in bringing up Max, I immediately shut down any defending of Mota if you have to bring up Max Allegri. If you have to bring up Max Allegri to defend Mota's work, then you've already got no leg to stand on. This guy has a job to do that stands alone, regardless of any of the names prior. Sarri, Pirlo, Max, I don't give a shit. He's got a job to do on his own. Right now, there is a name closely associated to him, and that is Del Neri, okay? So let's leave it at that if we want to get into comparisons. Fuck the comparisons. He's got a job to do. Is Mota a one-trick pony? Listen, if we're going to talk about formation, I need to see the team succeed. So I don't give a shit who's wearing the suit and who's standing on the sideline. My recommendation would be this. And I've gone through with teams that I played on some serious slumps. They suck. They're brutal. Everybody questions themselves individually. You question one another. You question your teammates. And it takes somebody flipping their shit usually. Usually it takes several to flip their shit and call each other out. And sometimes players have to start calling some shots, even when it has to do with substitutions. There's a theory going out there, and you could see media start to change, start to ask and be like, well, do these players fear not doing what Mota wants? Capello started throwing that out. I have no idea what gives them that inclination to believe that, but maybe because of the treatment, because you haven't seen a guy like Fagioli in fucking months other than cameo. So is there truth to that? Who knows? But all I'm going to say is this. You're at a point right now, the only way you're going to dig out of this is not by complicating things. You have to scale right back to square fucking one, and you have to hammer in the most simplistic fundamentals that you can. For me, I would start with positioning, okay? Before you want to talk about formation, before you want to talk about everything like that, positioning. Lock in your positions, okay? Period. Knock in your positions, lock them in, and start with the basics. And to an extent, this does affect formation, because at the top, you have to get your players playing closer together, because they are worlds apart. There is no chemistry, and it isn't going to help giving one of those guys the ball and saying, make something happen. That's not going to help the team, the overall. You can shit on any of the guys that have played up top. He scored in his first game, but honestly, the reality is Kolo Muani got next to fuck all for service against Napoli, just like Nico does, just like Vlahovic does. You have a problem in creating. Lock in your positions. Boys, start shooting the damn ball when you have a line of sight on goal. And you know what? Get ugly. Chase it in. When we have bodies in the area, guess what? Where do I want the ball? Send it in the mixer. Don't wait. You don't have to dance. You don't have to beat 3 guys to do it. Send the damn ball in the mixer. And guys that are in the area, fight for it. Because if you're not, I got another guy on the bench that's ready to come in and fight for it. Simplify. Period. I don't give a shit about him rotating in a fucking left back into the midfield and a midfielder. Stop it. Dial it back. Scale it back. Your plan isn't working. And now these guys have no belief. They're unmotivated.
Back
Square
to
one.
basics, man.
Day one.
Back to basics.
You walk into training, you say, guys, this is day one. Scrap everything before. We start clean. We start fresh here. What we're doing is broken. We all need to help each other. You got to have a little humility as a fucking coach too. To say, I need you guys. I need you guys. Because they all need each other. And right now, it doesn't look like they understand that. Too much blame game, too much finger pointing. And now it's hit the fan base and it's hit the media. And that's what happens when shit's broken. I don't know. A lot of questions around these guys. We're going to get into Storm the Barn here and see. Adam's asking about players on loan. I'm going to be quite honest with you, man. I haven't followed them a ton. I haven't followed. Miretti, I think, is doing okay. Miretti, I followed a little bit, but not to the degree that I think people are really hyping.
People need to back off on the Miretti train. He had 1 or 2 good games.
I watched a highlight clip and I waited for the highlight clip. I watched 2.5 minutes and I said, where the fuck is my highlight?
Exactly. People are over. I get the team is garbage right now, but for us to overinflate the smallest things, people are going mad at the fact that, other teams are attracted in, let's say, Huijsen now. Okay, the guy was a talented player. We knew that. Don't freak out because he has interest from big clubs. Same thing with Miretti. He had 1 or 2 decent games. People are freaking their shit. Chiesa yesterday started the first game since September. I saw people on the feed demanding his return. Pump the brakes, folks. I know it's a shitstorm right now, but bringing in the guys that didn't help us in the past is not going to suddenly solve problems now. Let's not start looking backwards, okay?
Yeah.
That's it for the loans. Miretti ain't it right now,
All right. Take it easy. Trim, follow any you guys following any of the loan players much? Rugani, I saw a stat at one point that Rugani was involved in several clean sheets consecutively, but others are saying he's barely getting time, so I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, me personally, I'll be honest, I haven't really been following any one player in particular, but what I will say is fuck, Dean Huijsen would look good in our uniform right now, especially considering all the guys we have.
Trimmy.
I understand. I get it. I'm just saying.
Trimmy.
So I don't know, but yeah, it's everybody else for the most part, from what I'm seeing, or the little bits that I've just kind of tried to keep track of, is pretty mediocre. Actually, fun fact: Rabiot's got 2 goals in the French league. Whoa.
Okay, kick him out, Bert.
Rabiot's got 2 goals in the French league. Watch out.
He brought up a Frenchman that doesn't play for this club anymore. Drop him from this call right now, please.
Hey, I'm not saying I want him back. I'm just telling you, he's got 2 goals, man, in the French league. Jeez.
Great.
He's a world beater now.
What are you going to tell me next? That Clint Dempsey still plays soccer? There's some things that don't affect my life, man. I don't need to hear about it. Look, you scared Bert away. The question was asked.
I had to deliver the goods, man.
I don't think Bert is ever gonna let you back on, man. You might have just dared.
I'm gonna be banned now.
Yeah.
Sabota's got 2 goals. He's got as many as
Trimmy. Are you all right?
This is what this season's doing to me, man. I'm fucking resorting to looking at Rabiot's stats. Jesus,
we need an intervention over here. Okay, Paulo. Any insight to the lone players? Any regrets, going back on some of these moves?
Yeah, big regret. Yeah, one big fat regret. I watch a lot of Premier League, and Huijsen's a fucking bomber, man. That kid is on point. Oh, my God. I mean, you don't get – all the transfers you get in don't always work out. All the ones that you sell, now and then one gets away. So that is the way footy works, right? But Huijsen's fucking – he's gold. Gosh.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
And going back to Luca's point, you got an amen from Skanga, so that might mean you're on the right track.
I'm on the
saying.
wrong track. Yeah, I had a feeling.
We got more Storm the Bars we're gonna get into. Guys, take a second, drop the likes here. We're trying to have fun despite the vibes. Like, we know it sucks. We know it's not ideal, whatnot. But like,
you know, shove it up there.
Hey, it's out of our hands. It's out of our control. I wish I had more control. I wish I could walk in Cotanasa today and slap the shit out of all of them and say, boys, what the hell? Sit down. I got a DVD about the history of Juventus. We're going to watch it all together. So you guys might have an understanding of what you're a part of and that it's a privilege. And it's interesting because this actually came up. It came up in Danilo's goodbye. And somebody said, we don't owe shit to these players. Because I said, whoa. I said, it's something about showing respect to those that give you services rendered for several years, a chosen captain, etc. And he goes, we don't owe these players anything. It's a privilege. I go, that privilege disappears when you show an ungrateful side to that degree. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, nobody's going to care. Like, and that's the whole thing is like the history of this club, you know, and what you're a part of has to mean something now. You can't ride those coattails forever. Like sooner or later, that stops. And if you ain't living that day in, day out, and that's just culture, eventually you got a full-blown shit show. So it's just one of those things. I'll always stand on the side that as an employer, you should show respect to a certain degree. That's not everybody. You don't sign a loan player for, like yesterday, last year we didn't have to walk Alcaraz around the fucking stadium, okay? But a guy that wore your captain's armband that had over 200 appearances, a little bit of class, a little bit of fan service goes a long way. And the fans actually did have banners for Danilo there yesterday, and that was nice to see.
Nice.
It was a touch of class. Okay? Let's keep it rolling. If anyone thinks that Fagioli is still worse than Douglas Luiz or Cope Miners, go to a brain doctor.
There's none around me. Sorry.
A neurosurgeon, I believe, is the term.
Too expensive. Sure. Sorry.
Sure. Soiree, how would you guys rate the results in January out of 10? I would give it a 1 to 1.5. Absolutely atrocious and pathetic. Okay. Guys,
results.
You want a quick little recap? You want a little recap on January?
No, I think we all remember. He means results as in like game results, right? Not the transfer market.
No, like physical daily conditioning medical results. Yeah, of course. What are we talking about here?
Wanted clarification. Why?
Come on, Luca.
I'd actually give it a hard 1.
A hard one.
A very stiff one.
Firm one there. Wow. Hard one. Okay, Paulo, the results for you rating.
I don't know. It's
a 1-1 draw with Atalanta, which was actually a good showing from us. Torino 1-1 draw. Supercoppa, brutal showing. Milan the 2-0 win, which was very strong, and then Club Brugge 0-0 draw. Napoli 2-1 loss. Benfica 2-0 loss.
Maybe a 2.5, maybe a 3 because of the Milan win. Half a game versus Napoli. Couple of moments here and there. Maybe
I'm gonna go with a flaccid 2. I'll say instead of a hard 1, a flaccid 2. Okay, Trim, what do you got for the ratings here?
I'll just go 1.5. Keep it all.
There you go. He doesn't want to be super negative. He doesn't want to be super positive. He's right in the middle.
If Stango was here, he would have given a 7. So what are we talking about? Let's just keep going.
Skanga.
Mr. Positivity.
A 5 with a high ceiling.
Are we ready to give up this season? Let Mota play different formations in order to have his project align for next year? Management won't sack him. Only option. Thoughts? But that's like that. What does that have to do with anything? Like, he has the capability to change a setup if he wants to. I mean, but are we ready to give up this season? Like, are you talking about miss Champions League?
No. the season's not over.
I don't want to do that. He's not in danger of that happening yet, and obviously, and hopefully never. But I would hate that because I know what would happen. And you would say goodbye to more talent. It's a big mess we're in because of having spent so much money this past summer to have to say goodbye to more talents. You really need the bare bones objectives to hit this year. You can go away with missing round of 16 in Champions League. That'll be okay. If you miss Champions League qualification for next year, that sucks. That sucks. So for me, I'm not ready for that. No. I'll be pissed because I know what Giuntoli's going to do. And it's what he's being asked to do by the people above him for the numbers. We don't have standards. We don't have culture. We don't have anything building because we are being run by this dark cloud of finances.
I think Alex has got a few good things in there. And why I say that is because one thing I was bemoaning last night and thinking about this morning was this. I've had a complete shift in where my feelings are and perceptions are about the team after yesterday. And Alex raises questions for me where I wonder, what do you do with the next 3 months? Like, how do you handle the second half of the season? And for me as a fan, what are my expectations and what do I think or believe is more realistic? So when I watch games, I don't get mad. When I look at the plan or whatever the P word is, I can see some lines being drawn, right? And I guess what I'm thinking is, yes, I was just trashing Mota and I was complaining that I think he's not good enough for this team, but I want him to succeed. I want the players to succeed. I want us to qualify at the end of the season. I want us to have a better second half. Like, I want all those things. I want our team to succeed, and I don't want the issues and the carousels and the dissension in the dressing room and all that stuff, right? But I think, like you said, Bert, we have to simplify. I think Mota has to simplify and accept that he's got to get the basics right. We haven't had a good shape all year. He's got to get a good shape that the players can all rally around and participate in and start to do the simple things right. And like Trim said earlier, avoid these errors and all the mistakes we're making, which are mental and they come from a bunch of places. And he's got to simplify. And if we halfway through this second half, in my opinion, if we don't get into a position where we look like we're gonna have Champions League 4th place, 5th place, whatever it is secured, I think you got to get Mota out and you got to get an interim coach in there to help get that Final Four spot and then figure it out in the summer. Yeah. But I think this second half has to be a lot more specific and there's no opportunity for error.
Yeah. Kenny D. Not to be mistaken for Kenny G. The sax man. Did you guys notice Locatelli's disaster position on the first goal? It's like He didn't even know he was supposed to play center back. Oh yeah, pointed it out. Want another look? Take another look.
And he just came on the field too. He literally just like not even 30 seconds before that gets on the field.
The funny thing is insert Kalulu, and sometimes that's happened too. So it's just positionally, this team is shattered.
Yeah. Let's quickly knock this one out. He's not a center back. The positioning that back line is scrap. Even if he wasn't there, move on.
Yeah.
Next question.
Nicely put.
First up, massive shout out to our boy. All right. Boy, hey. Great job as always, guys. Thanks for showing one of the few bright spots of this month was this channel. Sweet baby Jesus. Let's hope it gets better now. Absolutely. Let's hope for better because it has to be way better than what we're showing. And I fail to believe we're just not capable of better than we're seeing. Storm the Barn, is Chico Chiesa 2.0. Was he only flashes and we all liked it? Rather see Imbangula, Dushan, and Kolo moving forward. So this ties into what I was saying before. Conceição took a lot of heat. Ricardo Meloni decided to write a paragraph on Twitter about how he executes nothing and it's all flash and there's no substance to his game. And I asked, is it all on him? Because for me, Give me a talented player like that, a skilled player like that all day, every day. But where's the guidance? Where's the assistance? Like, I fail to believe if you just simplified direct. He always looks like he's trying to do way too much.
Yeah.
Talked about it. When you have the numbers in the area, send the ball in.
Get it in.
That's it. And you know what? Get away from that goddamn line. He's got a good shot. Get yourself in shooting positions when the ball's on the opposite side. We played an aerial ball to him yesterday, for God's sakes. You wanted him to win an aerial battle? Against who?
Yeah, that was good.
My God. Unless they put one of the players' kids out there, he's not winning an aerial battle. He still might lose it at that point. Get this guy in situations that make sense.
If Gatti has a newborn son, he's probably taller than Chico.
It's crazy to me. But do you guys think it's fair to say that it's all flash, no substance? Because that's kind of the things that were going around.
It's tough to defend Chico right now because, I mean, he just came back from injury, so obviously he's gonna need some time to adjust. But prior to this injury, you know, there were points where he was, again, I wouldn't say being predictable, but you know, the other team, all they have to do is put two guys on him, and you know, already we're so tactically messed up in the final third that he's got no one to pass it to, and you know, he's essentially nullified from the game. So I'm not gonna sit here and say it's solely on him because there's other aspects, as Bert mentioned, but I think he does need to. I mean, he's young. Let's not forget he's young. He does need to mature in his thinking. You know, he is at times doing too much. He is at times losing the ball when he shouldn't. He is at times not tracking back. You know, there's things that he's slacking on that he needs to work on. But again, he's young. He's very vibrant. He's very talented. He's not our source of concern. I don't think he's Chiesa 2.0 at all. So that's my answer.
Yeah. Trim, Paulo, anything to add? I think this is a good comment from Cammy V here. Our boy, he's doing too much, but a large part of it is because he feels like he has to be the one to create. This is another product of your system or a lack of efficiency of the system in the group overall, that these guys on the outside are, everyone up top's on an island. Your strikers on an island, your wingers are on an island. You know?
Yeah.
What do you guys have anything to add?
Lack of options, I guess. But no, yeah, for me, I just wanted to say I think it's hard to kind of judge it at this point. I'd rather just give him the full season to see. But definitely it's the, you know, he's just, decision making is the biggest thing with me. But I think that comes in time as a player. He'll get better at it. Right now it's up and down.
Yeah, and I think as a coach, there has to be guidance there at some degree. There has to be some we saw Chiesa often tried to do a lot and went overboard, trying to take on four guys sometimes. Like, what are you doing? Just send the ball in. Like, it's kind of a bit part and parcel with dribblers. But
it's that style.
You still need some of these guys. You still need one of these guys, especially for this particular setup and game plan. But Paulo, your thoughts on Chico?
When he first started, he did an interview and he was very matter of fact, very to the point. I think he's got a real workmanlike attitude. And you've seen Savona. The number of times Savona's made a run and he's looked and he didn't want to give it to Savona. The number of times he did not intentionally pass to Savona. I think he puts a lot on himself. I think he's got a high standard. I think he feels a lot of responsibility for his role and for the success of the team, for production. But he does, and the coach need to create more opportunities for him to be more dynamic and to have options.
Yeah.
Talented guy, though.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. What pans out come season end, and that'll be something that also will be defined based on how we finish up, right? So, see.
Yep.
We got where are we at here? We'll try and machine gun a few of these. I have a feeling that even if Juve scrape past PSV or Milan, they will be absolutely smoked by Inter or small club Arsenal. Thoughts? I'm going to be just flat out honest. I have no idea what Juve is going to show up from a game-to-game basis. Every game could be a draw. Every game could be a loss. Every game could be a win. I have no idea. We've shown the consistency. No consistency.
Yeah,
basically.
Consistency of Skanga's knees right now, but...
Well, yeah.
Wait, question. Do we still make the profit if we make it past the playoffs? Like, even if we lose that first round, right? We still, round of 16 money is there, correct?
If you lose the round of the playoffs?
No, if we make it past the playoffs.
Yeah, then you get the round of 16 bonus.
Right. So I don't want to be that guy. Like,
but
we might get
yeah, that's not make or break. Like, not qualifying would be make or break.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know I think Swati has a point. We might, and you're right, Bert, too. Like, we might show up, we might not. We might get our ass beat. At that point, if we're in that round, I'll be already pretty content and pretty satisfied that is an objective. I think that was on the list. I don't think it's enough.
I'm at the point where I'm not satisfied until I see this team like have something of some type of substance that we can move forward with. Like, we're going in game to game basis, not knowing how bad it's gonna be, or are we gonna be surprised? Like, is Mota gonna change something, try something new? Like, it's like we just keep asking questions and going in circles, and then every time this season, again, we haven't even got 3 wins strung together at any point this year. I can't stress how piss poor that is. Like, that's just ridiculous.
It's a new record.
That's ridiculous. You know? Yeah, the reality is, like, I'm waking up this weekend at 3:30 to watch us play against Empoli, and I wouldn't be shocked to see a draw. That some shit.
1-1.
I don't know. Personally, I don't think we get to the round of 16, just because I'm always, one of the more optimistic ones on the channel, and I try to be positive. But with this month, it's just totally beaten me down to the point where I'm just like, okay, yeah, like you said, Berto, we don't know what we're going to see. But I'll tell you one thing, this management group and ownership is probably really fucking pleased that we got the playoff just to get that extra gate revenue. Like, that's what I was thinking the entire match yesterday. I watched this. I'm like, these guys don't want to even try to win the game. I know top 8 would have been pretty much impossible to get anyway, but it's like they're just banking on that extra gate revenue. Like, that's what they want from this.
These guys shithoused a lucky draw, PSV and Milan, and they probably, we have a good chance. We have a good chance based on those opponents. It's home and away to go through. We really do have a good chance to go. It could have been way worse for Juve in terms of draw. My confidence is not shot. We're not going around 16. I actually, even as bad as it is and however many questions we have, we'll go round to 16. But it's a shithouse way of doing it when you can't take care of business, right? It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Yeah. Do you guys understand the reason of cutting off Danilo days before a game against Benfica? We couldn't register any new center back for the game. Your guess is as good as mine.
Either way,
it's not
like we're gonna make him play this one game and then cut
he
him.
might have just said, "Hey, Cope, do you mind sending that ball through to one of our guys up forward?" And Mota probably said, "Get the fuck out of here," because that's my boy. Who knows? We really don't know the reason to answer it truthfully. No idea. No insight. DJ Cabby V. I am convinced a majority of our offensive issues stem from not having a true 10. Relying on crosses to no numbers in the box is a recipe for failure. Can we get dangerous in the middle? I mean, it's a different game, every opponent, right?
Yeah.
There are games you'll have the outside. They'll have games where you need the middle presence there. I said it earlier in the show. I believe we've never put it together. We've never put it all together.
Yeah.
There's always something missing. We've had a couple good games a couple good performances. But I think we're seeing more often than not teams that are solid, that, force you to create the space. We can't do it. We're too stagnant. The middle, play in the middle, does have a lot to do with it, because you have to balance it out. Like yesterday, instead of leaving one guy in the flank, like, where was the support? 4 guys standing in the box. Nobody decided. And the midfielders below the winger, nobody decided, hey, I'm going to go offer some support. Hey, maybe if I come here, I drag a defender in. Maybe that midfielder said, hey, when you take that guy out, you know what? I'm gonna run beyond. He could flip it over to me. Nobody's doing that. Yildiz as the 10 yesterday spent his entire game on the wing.
Yeah, that was curious.
Same shit, different player. Coop would do the same thing.
So where's the coach coming into all this?
That's my point, yeah.
He must be saying
keeping things simple, or like you said, Alberto, in the beginning of the show or earlier, just keep things simple. 10 plays as a 10, not on the left side, not on the right side, not up as a 9, not as a fucking CP.
Stay close to Dusan. We saw it last year when Yildiz was close to Dusan. It was, pretty effective. Well, why not do the same thing now?
Whether it's players not understanding, and I have a hard time that these guys wouldn't understand it come end of January, what their roles are to do. So, like, are they just not listening to this guy? Do they not care about what this guy has to say? Is he too much of a prick that he doesn't, like, these guys just don't care to listen? They're going to do their own thing. I fail to believe all of this, because Yildiz actually does look like he cares. Yeah. He looks like he actually does care. And if he was guided and said, look, I don't want you out there on the friggin' wing, I want you centrally in the spot, I believe he would do it.
And that's why I think he's been told to stay in the wing. I think that is a direct order.
I don't know. This whole thing is just so confusing, and it's infuriating to watch. It's infuriating to watch. We're trying machine gun some of these. Oh, Paulo, go ahead.
I was going to say, all year, Mota's been sending things out to the wide marks, right? And trying to overload either side and work from the outside in. So it's been an ongoing problem. We've never had that middle figured out.
It's been terrible for that.
Hypothetically, Mota is sacked with top 4 at risk. Who do you even go for the rest of the season? I don't even know.
Next gen coach, whatever his name is.
Brambilo. Man, he's doing so good there. Leave him alone. Leave him be.
That's why.
If you were pulling someone in for an emergency situation, leave him be. He's doing a great job there.
I jokingly brought up yesterday, is Montero still available?
That's what I was going to say. Montero, when they say, hey, can you give us a couple of weeks?
Last year.
He would definitely slap them into freaking
And I would much rather this guy get through and just obtain the objectives, and let's revisit at season's end. But just hit your targets, man. For the love of God, they're not even crazy. Like, just hit your targets. Beat Empoli this weekend. Let's start there.
That's a good starting point.
Piazza scored the winner against Milan yesterday. Who cares? His leg probably blew up on the kick too.
Look, I mean, at this point, if we're bringing back Rabiot and Piazza, who's missing? We're gonna start talking about Vucinic too now, guys.
Forza Inter is just trying to pick at the scab, but the scab is the fucking. Thank you
for liking the video, though. I appreciate
just a skid mark on the underpants of society in the footballing world. You can replace one. You can replace 1 to 5 new players, new coaching staff, or new management CEO director. Which one do you pick and who?
That's 5.
So you can replace 5. Okay, you can only replace 1. 5 new players, new coaching staff, new management, CEO, director. Which one do you pick? Holy shit.
It's gonna depend. It's gonna depend what the options are coming in, but gut reaction, coaching staff.
Okay. Trim?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think there's too many variables when it comes to players because like you don't know who's available, you don't know who you can actually get. I think personally, Juventus has done enough in terms of what he brought in. You could argue the outgoings and the loans are obviously a black mark on this season so far, but the easy choice is the coaching staff because I really think that they could actually make changes, and Mota could make changes, and he's not right now in terms of style and approach.
Paolo? This is a great question, by the way, Pierre.
Yeah. Coaching for sure.
Pierre Portela. Bert?
I
can get it, man.
Fuck, for how I feel and everything I've said, this is gonna shock people, but give me 5 new players. Give me 5. Listen. Give me 5 new players that are like legit, because then there's absolutely zero leg to stand on. Okay, so give me 5 new players, because this team is skinny anyways as it is. Give me 5 new guys. Round that out. Get rid of that friggin' excuse completely. And
can we all agree that's management, CEO, like that's like we're not getting rid of Gintoli? We're all good on that.
I think the jury's out, but it's still too soon. It feels too soon for Gintoli, given the restrictions he's had and everything. Like, do you guys agree it's too soon to think that way on Gintoli?
I'd give him at least another year, personally.
Easily, yeah.
Do you get 5 extra players, or do you have to lose 5 and bring in 5? Because if I'm getting 5 new players, of course I'm going to get the 5 new players, and then
I took it as 5 new players, so I'm going 5.
Oh, I took it as in you just replace 5, and I'm like, well, that to me I don't see. So depends.
Give me 5 new players.
Sure. Let's start with 5 new players to add on to what we have.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sturaro, Lemina, Hernandez. Okay. Give me those 3. We saw Vucinic at the game yesterday. Jesus, has he aged? Didn't recognize him with his pants on, but great dude. Great dude. That was a good moment seeing him there. Okay, but what a classic Selly, taking the shorts off. Doesn't want the yellow for the shirt. I think he's still got a yellow. Brilliant. Brilliant. That guy was legit. I asked if he brought his cleats. Fuck. Step in there, man.
I would have taken him in a second.
I would have taken him in a second too. Absolutely. We got time for a couple of more. All right. So Mota leaves tomorrow. Who is the right man? Oh my God. Hey, listen. I think we've learned now to say who the right guy is anybody's guess. The fact of the matter is, I just personally feel like it doesn't have to be so forced, and when it happens, you'll know. Like, everything will just kind of click and start feeling good. The second the honeymoon phase was over with Mota, it hasn't been good. But I think we've learned calling for the right guy. I don't think there is such a thing. It's just a matter of making it all work. We still are yet to see what our vision is. What's the vision? Who's coming up with the vision? This is Giuntoli's vision, or is this just something created by the finances? Got to think about that. And that's why when we talk about Agnelli and a possible return, hey, he had Marotta by his side. Would Giuntoli be his guy? I don't know. But he needs that. Because ever since Marotta left, he gave the reins to the wrong guy, and he never stepped in quick as he should have. And then it was Cherubini, it was Arriva Bene. Like, he seemed lost too. But he was a visionary. And he did do everything with the best of intentions. You kind of need a visionary. You need some type of vision. Right now, I don't think anything's led other than financially. What do you make of the Xavi rumors? I don't believe them actually for a second.
It ain't happening.
And it would be a no thank you.
It would be a big bad move.
That would be a no thank you. I heard Tudor was at the stadium yesterday though.
Actually?
Yeah.
Not a single picture of him?
No. He was like down in the
He was like
with staff.
He was in the
Like he
corner
was
like
down there
this.
with staff. Who knows what that's all about, eh? Juve is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Trying to get results while cleaning the books is difficult. Should we just commit to selling or continue to play the gradual game of sell, compete? Well, that's just it. Sooner or later, you have to stop that, right?
Yep.
Like, so this goes back to the Cambiaso discussion. I said whatever gets us free and clear of making decisions that aren't solely based on sporting, right? Then end it. If that's the means to get there, Cambiaso, Fagioli, your capital, Vlahovic, etc., fucking do it. Get to a point where we're hanging on to talent because he's good for the team. Get me to that point. That's all I got to say on that.
No,
you guys?
I got nothing to add.
Yeah. Get me as quick as possible to that point. Can we change Can we change the rules to get goals by moving the ball side to side? My God, we'd break records. We'd break records. I wish. Do you think they still don't know why the training does not translate into matches? See, and that was one thing I brought up when all the players were getting interviewed. They were like, we don't know. We like what we're doing. We like the coach. Like, everything's good. We have no idea why it's not translating on the pitch. You think they still don't know, or they've given up?
I think they're starting
guys
to
checked out. I have no idea.
I think they're starting to pay attention. They're starting to see why, I think.
Yeah. It's tough. There is the longer the struggles go, just gets harder and harder to dig yourself out of the hole. The sense of belief seems to be lacking. How do you guys think Milik is liking his stint as J-Med janitor right now? Is he even the janitor, man? He's probably running the show.
He's dead.
He's just going to stay in bed to run the contract.
I think he's the one cutting up those fishnet tops that the guys wear now when they come in. He said they got him in a room there. They're like, hey, since you're here, you want to make yourself useful? And he's just sitting there snipping the sleeves off and cutting the collars out so that they can put those things on. I don't know what's going on with that guy.
Maybe he's stuck in one of those rooms. He doesn't have his pass card, and like he's been waiting for somebody to open the door so he can come in. So maybe he's stuck somewhere.
I'm telling you, he's dead. He's passed on, guys.
Take it easy. A question for each one of you. Have you guys given up on Malta? Luca, have you given up on him?
No. Hard to say no, but no.
Trimmy.
Don't say Rabiot.
Remember, I was Mr. Statue guy, right? So, I mean, I'm supposed to be backing this guy like right till the end, but I don't know. It's getting awfully close. Basically, it's going to hinge on top four. If he gets through top four this year, like the remainder of the season, I want to see the rest of the games, how they play out. But it's getting close. Real close.
Yeah. Paolo, have you given up on him?
Every game this year has been difficult. There's been something wrong every game. I don't know the shape. I don't know the formation. I haven't identified the style. I'm fine. I think I've gotten all I can out of Mota. Can I put it that way? I think I'm done. Honestly, I'm done.
So the answer is
I'm pulling the plug and I'm trying to do damage control.
Yeah. I'm like I don't know.
And I don't want that. Sorry, I don't want it to fail. I don't want him gone.
I'm like hanging on to the hoop here after a slam dunk, just kind of like hanging on, like we got this guy. I'm pumped, like boom, let's go. And then I'm just kind of hanging on, like, oh, this is gonna be a foul. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm just hanging on for dear life. I'm not at the point where I've given up completely, but I'm like right there. It's a tightrope. Like I just don't have the belief that it turns around, and any kind of faith moving forward, I haven't seen enough in year one to get me to and the things that I hear in defense is like, well, I like his ideas. Yeah, I like his ideas too. Is he the only one that shares these ideas? No. You can get this from another coach. It doesn't have to be him. And again, the biggest questions that I have go back to all the other intangibles. Treating your captain's armband like a fucking set of underwear that you change daily. The player treatment, not being able to use guys, etc. Like, these are things that concern me even more so than the fact that our play is dog shit and we don't seem to have an alternative. Even Conte, who is the most stubborn motherfucker on the planet, has gone to a 4-3-3 this season with Napoli when he realized he cannot play what he's played for years upon going there. So, at the end of the day, this guy's got Juan Jesus and Rahmani playing like legit fucking defenders in Buongiorno's absence. He didn't even use Kvaratskhelia for like 4 games before they sell him. Like, there, to a certain degree, there is a coach's influence that we are definitely lacking. I'm not at the point of get the fuck out, but I'm not far. Like, you have a job to do. Start showing us, start showing us some more positives. There's been way too many negatives. That's just me. I'm on the verge. With that said, guys, wraps up the time here. We have more Storm the Barns. You guys have been fantastic in the chat. Drop a like. Look, it's tough times. Tough times. I ain't going anywhere, okay? Unless the team does, then, then all of a sudden Cosenza cast is ready to make its debut. But until then, which will never happen, this team ain't going anywhere. We ain't going anywhere. I'll be up at 3:30 in the morning, rocking the watch along for Empoli. Dear God, if you let me down at 3:30 in the morning against Empoli, I'm breaking something. Okay.
You guys are losing Bert. That's for sure.
But stay tuned for this weekend. But because it's a 3:30 a.m. start, we're actually going to do the live pregame on the Saturday morning. Okay. So just stay tuned for that. You guys know the drill. I'll keep you in the mix on the news, in the build-up here. Look, buckle up. Okay? Fagioli sale. Arthur Loan. Remember how we had a prediction question on the pregame show and said, how do you say the Mercado ends? I said Arthur gone and Fagioli sold. So we're very close. Let's see what happens. As far as Mota, you're going to continuously hear that he is completely safe. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. Time will tell. But Trimmy, don't you ever talk about that Frenchman again. I'll tell you that much. Paulo, absolute pleasure as always. Luca, hey.
Nice seeing you again.
Relax. Yeah. It was decent. Just kidding. Okay. Absolutely amazing. You guys are the best. And live chat, you're the best as well. AJC Army, second to none. Hey, ride or die, no matter what. Better days to come. Please, dear football gods, bring us better days. Benfica, well, you kind of knew that was coming. We just got a shit record against them. But my God, Empoli, Malta,
get it together.
Get your shit together and win this game. Dear God, no matter what, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. I didn't give a te out though. Somebody's got to get a te. Who wants a te?
Skanga, give it to Skanga. Just go.
Oh yeah. No, come on. Somebody's got to get a te. Who gets a te? Yesterday, Gatti, Luis. Somebody's got to get a te.
Hey, how about Silva doing the Napoli and kicking a ball for a throw-in and cheering like he scored a goal? Give him the te.
You get one of these. There you go. There you go, you mutt. God damn. That's Trimmy's boy, too, by the way. But is what it is.
I take him.
Ciao, tutti. Enjoy the rest of your weeks. And let's forget about this one as quick as possible. Ciao, tutti. Take care.